Welcome back, fourth grade, to the world of geometry. That's right, you're here for a math lesson today. We're going to do a quick review of yesterday, and then we're going to move on to lesson 2. So yesterday we talked about lines. So again, a line is a straight path that continues on in both directions. And we represent that by having these two arrows that show that it's going to continue on. There is no end in sight. Then we talked about line segments. Now, line segment is a portion of a line that's between two endpoints. So I'm looking at this space. So a line segment is this portion because it's between two endpoints. And last, we had a ray. A ray has the one endpoint, and then it keeps going on in just the one direction. That's how we know it's different from a line, because it's only continuing on in one direction. So again, when we talk about lines, I'm looking for two arrows. When we talk about a line segment, I'm looking for 2 points. And when we talk about a ray, I'm looking for 1 point and 1 arrow. Now, we also had the opportunity yesterday to talk about angles. And angles are going to play a big part in today's lesson as well. So we're going to do a quick review of the 4 angles that we covered yesterday. Now, the first one that we did was a right angle. And a right angle is always 90 degrees. Okay. Now, right angles are actually one of the easiest to recognize because they form that square corner in the vertex. And a lot of the times they actually draw you a little square here. So this is how we can tell a right angle. Then we talked about straight angles. And we had said that a straight angle is always 180 degrees. And that was because it formed a straight line. Again, straight line, straight angle, 180 degrees. Then we had acute angles. These are the ones that I said they're cute because they're little. So they are smaller than our right angle, which means they're somewhere between 1 degree and 89 degrees. So they're pretty tiny. They never get high enough to get to that square corner. Our last one was obtuse. We talked about the B in obtuse stands for big. So it has to be bigger than a 90-degree angle. So it has to be at least 91. And it had to be smaller than a straight angle. So it could be anywhere between 91 degrees and 179 degrees. Again, you can see here, this is a big angle. Our vertex, our opening, where our vertex is a lot farther back. It's not going to form that square corner. Now, these angles are going to play a big role today when we look at lesson 10.2. Again, this goes right with your assignment for the day. So if you go to 10.2, which is really page 555 in your book. Okay. So today is all about using angles to classify triangles. Okay, so let me get this erased really quick. Now, we all know a triangle has 3 sides. which also means that we have 3 angles in a triangle. Let's see. Now, bear with me. My lines are not as straight as I would like, but they're going to get the job done today. So, when we are talking about triangles and we want to classify them by angle, here is what we're really talking about. The first one that we can have is an acute triangle. Now, an acute triangle, all 3 angles, all 3 are acute angles. They're all smaller angles. So all 3 angles are acute. Now, then if we look in the middle here, we have an example of an obtuse triangle. And that is because at least one angle, one of these angles, is big. One of these angles is an obtuse angle. Our last type of triangle is a right triangle. And again, you can see I have my little corner drawn here. This is the symbol for a right angle. So a right triangle has one right angle. Okay. Now, some of you are working through your lesson, you're working through 10.2. What I would like to do though is point out a specific example. I'd like to do it with you guys up here so that way you can see. Now, some of this came into play on your freckle assignments yesterday. So I think that this will also help clear a few things up. So what I really want you to do right now is go to page 557, and I want us to look at number 1 together. Okay, now again, I'm going to try my best to draw this and to match it to the picture, but in number 1, you have a right triangle, and it is triangle FGH. If they're ever asking you to name it, we go in alphabetical order. So we go F, G, H. So this is triangle FGH. And now we're going to look at each individual angle. So if I want to know what angle F is, I'm looking here. I'm looking at this vertex right there. I'm going to do this one in red. So if I'm looking solely at the vertex for F, I can see that it's not a right angle. I don't have my corner piece in there. It's not huge. It's not a very big angle. It's smaller. So angle F would be acute. If I go now, I'm going to stick in order, alphabetical order. Now I'm going to look at angle G. So again, angle G, I am looking at the vertex by that letter. So this is my G. I've been given my answer. I have the clue. I have that square corner there. So automatically I should know that angle G is a right angle. Now I have one more. I've got angle H. So again, I am looking at this vertex. I'm looking at the opening at point H. Again, I can tell it's not a right angle. It doesn't have my square corner. It's not bigger than my right angle. So that means that angle H has to be acute. Now, today, when you guys are going through and looking at these different triangles, help yourself. If you see this square corner piece, it should be that clue. It should be all you need to know that you are looking at a right angle, which is going to equal for you a right triangle. Then you just have to see, are there any obtuse angles? Since an obtuse triangle, remember we said obtuse triangles have one obtuse angle. So if you see a triangle, I'm going to draw an example up here. If I have a triangle that has this one really big vertex, this has to be an obtuse triangle. Now again, help yourself. If I still see a triangle without that corner, but then I don't see one of these really big angles, I know I have to be looking at an acute triangle. Okay. Now, today I did ask you guys to do the 2 homework pages. So again, some of this involves drawing. So you're going to have to try to take a picture and send it to me. If anyone has problems, post on our post page and say, hey, Miss Deegan, I can't get the picture up. And I'll work with you and we'll figure it out. Use this. Use these notes during the lesson, guys. Help yourself. Okay. Remember, if you have any questions, don't feel like you can't reach out. I will get back to you as soon as I can. But other than that, this is it for math today. So you're working on lesson 10.2. And then I expect you to have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you guys back here on Monday.